blazing the frontiers of political speech. Live from New York City, it's the Vox Internet Radio Transmission. And now your host, Nimbus.
Transmitting live from Police State America in New York City. What we're involved in today is what's called a crusade. We all learned about the Crusades in high school, and it's no different. The people in the 13th century looked back at the people in the 11th century and they said, oh, the Crusades were only existing back then. But we live in modern times here in the 13th century. We don't do things like have crusades. That was just for the olden days. And then in the 15th century, they looked back at the 11th and the 13th century and they said, well, you know, they were crusading back then, but here we are in the 15th century, you know, times are, you know, we're modern people, you know. And now here we are in the 21st century, and we're looking back and saying, oh, the crusades only happened in the 15th century, and they only happened in the 13th century, and oh, they only happened in the 11th century, but it's such a modern world now that we wouldn't have crusades. It's the same thing. It never changes. The crusade never changes. The names of the players change, but the strategy and the tools and the methodologies is all the same. Murder, assassination, greed, fear. These are all the tools of the Illuminati. Yes, the Illuminati exists. And there's going to be a few words we use. And the word Illuminati, I need people to become more familiar with, because this is the best name to give to these controllers, these puppet masters who are controlling the events, who are steering the events of the day. These events are not random acts of terrorism. They're carefully planned by the elite. All terrorism is an inside job. All terrorism is of people terrorizing themselves. And that's what's happening in America today. We're looking for a boogeyman that doesn't exist. The terrorists are on the inside. 9/11 was an inside job. 9/11 was likely perpetrated by the CIA and the oil and arms merchants. The oil and arms industrialists are likely the ones who pulled off the 9/11 attacks. And their story is falling apart. And there is more circumstantial evidence. There's a mountain of evidence that is pointing directly to an inside job. Maybe the CIA with the oil and arms merchants that did this 9/11 job. Certainly there is no evidence that 19 guys from Osama bin Laden's camp somewhere in a cave did this. And you tell this to people, and they say, well, why would we bomb ourselves? Well, first of all, you can't use the word we. These people aren't we with you. They are them. You are we. They are them. It's us versus them. And they say, well, why would they bomb us? These elitists, these industrialists, these people who make the bombs and who control energy and who work in the intelligence agencies, why would these people bomb? It's inconceivable. We would not bomb ourselves. It's inconceivable. And the answer is quite simple. It's because the architects that are at the very top in the Council on Foreign Relations and in the State Department and in the intelligence agencies and in the industries that surround the military-industrial complex, in the industries that comprise the military-industrial complex, they have a choice. Either they go to war and they make billions and billions and billions of dollars, or they have no war and they make no money. And if you don't think for 1 minute that when a $5 or $10 billion military contract is awarded, that these companies wouldn't kill for that. And that companies like Halliburton, where billions get funneled through these big money laundries, because that's all Halliburton is. It's a money laundry. It's a way to get money from the U.S. Treasury into the hands of private people. That's what Halliburton is. It's a money laundry. If anybody thinks that George Bush's goals with America is anything other than total economic rape, then you don't know anything. The Bushes are the most willing instrument of the Illuminati that the world has ever seen. The Illuminati has had servants in the past, but the Bushes are the most willing and complete servants of the New World Order. The Bushes don't even have a soul or the ability to imagine anything on their own. They are completely inseparable from the dark force. They are the total and complete instruments of terror, aggression, profiteering, tyranny, and treason.
911 was an inside job. Get the facts about who the real terrorists are. Tune in to the Vox radio transmission.